Okay, up in Peru, Maine, I've got a little issue with a roof I put on last year. Small leak, but kind of suspected there might be some trouble. I'll show you about where the leak's at. It's between two dormers here that pretty tight. So let me turn it around and show you about where it's at. All right, this is a 1940s, 1950 camp up on Worthley Pond. And that leak is somewhere in between those two dormers. Not sure. All right, by the way, just using a flat bar and a hammer, that's how I can get all those shingles up. You just got to work them loose where they seal along the edges. They got some tar there, so you got to work that slow and then just pry them all up. But what I wanted to show you was this corner right here. I suspect that might be one point where that water's getting in. Probably the same on the other side here. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that up there and see what that does. I don't see any other places where it might be coming in. There's no way the water's going to get up this high. So it's got to be some small leak right there. And that's actually not a small access point, but we'll tighten that up and see what we can do. That's it. Yep. And then run that flashing all the way out. Okay, right in here is where we had that little break in the ice and water shield yesterday. There's about a three-quarters of an inch right down the bottom here, and the same over there. So yesterday I went up and put a good 3 layers back and forth on the corner with that ice and water, because you're gonna have to cut it and then kind of fold it on itself. So I made sure that was double and triple seamed on both sides. And now I'm going back with the flashing. I'm going to run probably 4 pieces of flashing up to meet the existing flashing, and then put the shingles back. Also, I don't know if you can see it, but just below where we had to cut the shingles back, I'm running some tar up there, and I'm going to seal that real good on both sides. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, as far as that extension goes up here, I'm not going to put anything up there until I see whether or not this fix down here is going to work, because in the winter that gets a heck of a snow load, so I decided to just hold off on that. So anyway, that's where we're at now. And when you're nailing your flashing, that one I had to nail on the bottom, but avoid nailing where your next piece of flashing isn't going to cover up that nail, so you don't have any penetrations into your roofing that are exposed. That's about it right there. All right, there it is, sealed up. Got the ice and water on there. Got the flashing on there, and put the tar on there, so hopefully it'll be tight. If not, they're just gonna have to get it sided, finish up with the shingle siding, and lock it in. The exposure to the elements kind of contributed to that failure a little bit, so that's the way it goes. A couple things real quick, just wanted to mention. I'm not a prepper, but what I've been hearing about all the chatter on the internet, I would think that I got to start giving a little bit of consideration, and just a little food for thought to throw out here. If you are not ready for at least 2 or 3 days of not being able to go to the supermarket, not to stock up a little bit, food, water, and a little bit of clothing if you need it, in inclement weather, if you live up in the northern regions, then you might want to give it some consideration. I always think back to hurricane season. I lived down south for a while, and when the hurricanes hit, everything was cleared out, everything. The food shelves were empty, no generators, no fuel, so people are in a panic. You know, a few people were ready, but if you're not ready, then you really need to just give it a little bit of thought. And even if it's only about 10% of the chatter that's accurate on the social media platforms regarding, you know, doomsday scenarios and catastrophic events, cyber attacks, all the rest of the stuff, it's worth a consideration. My kids are grown. I've got 3 kids, 5 grandkids, and you know, to just have enough to get out of town and get away for a few days, let things settle down, and then you know, restock and go from there. But if you live in a suburb near a large city, just consider for 1 minute what the implications would be of a catastrophic breakdown in the logistical system. People are going to move out of the cities and into the suburbs, scrounging for food, whatever they can get. So the essentials, you know, food, water, clothing, and protection. Worth a thought, worth a serious thought. Give it some consideration, and you know, take it for what it's worth. But I'm going to start being a little more serious about it and just getting a few days supply in to make sure I can take care of who I got to take care of, and then go from there. So anyway, thought I'd throw that out.